what's up? It's BigJackFilms here, and welcome to another review. His name is legendary. He moves like the shadows, the breaker of chains, the mother of dragons. No, wait, I'm mixing up my legends here. Let me start over. He's the Lord of the Apes, the King of the Jungle, the Great Swinger of Trees, and he's got a kick-ass movie from the dream makers of Disney.
George of the jungle, strong as he can be.
Wait, what? No, I don't think so. Ooh, that's gonna leave a mark. Of course I'm not talking about Brendan Fraser in a loincloth. I'm talking about the original Jungle King, simply known as Tarzan. Created by Edgar Wright Burroughs in 1912 as a series of books, Tarzan is one of the original heroes of the 20th century, alongside such other works as Zorro, Hercules, and Conan the Barbarian. And much like them, many adaptations of the jungle hero have been produced. But it was in the motion picture genre that Tarzan would be the most popular. Now let me tell ya, there's tons of them. From the original classics starring Johnny Weissmuller and his iconic yell, to the great 1984 Greystoke film with fantastic ape effects by Rick Baker, all the way to the animated classic by Disney with the fantastic songs by Genesis. Yeah, I know it's just Phil Collins, but fuck it, I love me some Genesis. And come now to the 21st century, the process of another great Tarzan film seemed to be more rare nowadays. I mean, take a look at how this animated shit bombed. And quite honestly, there hasn't been a good Tarzan movie since the Disney film over 15 years ago. But just this year in 2016, Warner Brothers and Harry Potter director David Yates brought us a brand new big budget adventure of the Ape Man. How does it fare? Well, let's find out as we swing into The Legend of Tarzan. Surprisingly taking place in actual historical events, the film is not a retelling of the origins of Tarzan, but instead a continuation with a new adventure, as Tarzan, played by Alexander Skarsgård, now lives in England with his love Jane, played by Margot Robbie, in his father's inherited mansion. When receiving an invitation back to the Congo from a wealthy lord, Tarzan accepts and ships off with Jane back to Africa. Upon visiting a friendly tribe, Tarzan hears word of the horrors that have plagued the lands, as the King of Belgium has taken to building a railroad to harvest diamonds and ivory, as well as selling tribes to the local slave trade, which was sadly going on at the time. But when the king's envoy, played by Christoph Waltz, makes a deal with an old enemy of Tarzan, he raids the village and kidnaps Jane as leverage to lure Tarzan into a trap. Joined by the gunslinging George Washington Williams, played by the badass Samuel L. Jackson, Tarzan must unite the animals of the jungle to form an army, rescue Jane, and stop the king's envoy from taking over the Congo. So, what did I think of this new adaptation of the classic character? Well, I gotta be honest, I really enjoyed this movie. I gotta be honest here, folks. When I saw the first trailer for this thing, I was really surprised. This wasn't just some throwaway summer movie. This looked, by all accounts, really good. And it was probably the one movie I was looking forward to all summer, especially given the fact that I have not been to the cinemas in a while, probably not since Batman v Superman. And while I'm a little late to the party in seeing it, and not to mention hearing not the greatest reviews, I was a little nervous finally going in. I was fearful that it would be another clusterfuck-filled story with not much new to bring. But honestly, I was quite entertained by it. But before I can talk about the larger pluses the film gets, I'll talk about the characters first. First, of course, is the Lord of the Apes himself, Tarzan. And I gotta say, Alexander Skarsgård really gave his all in this, both physically and acting-wise. I know a lot of people may complain that Tarzan is the least interesting thing in the movie, and it's probably because the character doesn't really say much, but when you think about all that the character's been through, especially in the beginning, yeah, Tarzan is supposed to be a quiet man. He wasn't raised in civilization, he was raised in the jungle by a group of apes, for God's sakes. I mean, has nobody who reviewed this ever seen a Tarzan movie? And look how Alexander built himself for this. He's probably the most physical fit out of all the actors who have come before him. In fact, what did Lord Frieza say again about the physique like that?
Oh my god, you could grind meat on it. Ah!
Then of course there's Jane, and I think Margot Robbie did a fine job. Yeah, she is the classic damsel in distress, but luckily the movie is in some regards self-aware, and Margot does give some good humor to the role, as well as allow the character to be more independent. And thankfully, Margot Robbie's got some other work cut out for her since she's going to be tackling another relationship with a famous fictional character. Ain't that right, Put?
Hope you got insurance.
Don't worry, sweetheart. I got full-wheel drive on this thing. We'll be absolutely fine. Hey, isn't that the best?
Taxi.
Wait, what?
Oh, Jesus! Stupid. That's your ruining date night! Oh, Jesus Christ! Like, what have I done?
Should have stuck with dating 18. Samuel L. Jackson is also a lot of fun in the movie. He is a badass, that's for damn sure, but his character is given some good story, as well as some funny one-liners. Finally, there's Christoph Waltz, who plays quite the Spidery-esque villain. While the villain is pretty cliche, I will agree with most critics that he feels mostly on autopilot. And I feel really bad that he keeps getting typecast as a villain in a lot of movies, because the guy is a fantastic actor and deserves better in some regards. I mean, come on, can't he play the hero once in a while? At least ones that don't die? But the biggest compliment I can give to the film is that it's visually exciting and stunning. Say what you want, a movie's most important note is whether or not the story is good, but sometimes the visual experiences can outdo a story for a film. And this movie is a prime example of that. The way the movie is shot is spectacular, from the locations to the action scenes. The jungles look great on every frame. I've never seen a jungle this deep with atmosphere since King Kong or Avatar. The music is also pretty damn good as well, composed by Rupert Gregson-Williams. The score does hold its own and is a decent piece of music. Which makes me wonder, what else has this guy worked on besides Tarzan? That sums up my reaction. But probably one of the best things about the film is the visual effects, and goddamn, the effects in this movie are fantastic. All the creatures and environments at times are pretty damn impressive. The apes in the movie are the most impressive, and at times can be really frightening. The visual effects for the movie were done by the not as well noted Rising Sun Pictures, better known for the Game of Thrones series. So I gotta say props for them for their fantastic work on the film. So the movie does manage to be pretty entertaining in the visual field, but are there any elements that just swing away? Well, I gotta admit one minor problem I have is that the first half hour is a little bit of a clusterfuck at times, and the plot can be somewhat confusing. As well, the movie does retell the main elements of the classic Tarzan story in flashback, and it seems like you want to see a little more of that movie at times. But once you get used to the movie as a whole, it's still pretty enjoyable. The other minor setback is that the movie can be a little dark and upsetting with some of the historical horrors at the time. It seems that the movie can switch from being a Tarzan movie to 12 Years a Slave. Talk about a frickin' mood swing. But overall, these problems don't affect the entertaining aspects of the film. I'd say that The Legend of Tarzan was quite a fun ride. The characters are pretty cool, the story does do its job properly, and it's quite interesting to take Tarzan and put him into a historical setting. And with some impressive visuals, fantastic special effects, and a decent musical score, I say it's well worth the time to check out. I'd give it a good 7 out of 10. A great visual and entertaining jungle adventure.
You are Lord of the Apes, King of the Jungle, Tarzan. Tarzan.
So this concludes my review of The Legend of Tarzan, a fun little entertaining movie and worth checking out in theaters while you have the chance. Agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comments section below, along with your opinion of what you believe to be the definitive Tarzan movie. So for now, I'm gonna be diving into my own jungle adventure. Until the next review, this is BigJackFilms, signing off.